Second thing, now the one must know, okay, the one must know how to calculate the mean arterial pressure, and then we'll go over to the certain factors that we need to look after. Okay, how the mean arterial pressure, okay, that we need to calculate. Consider this is a cardiac cycle graph. Okay, this is 0.3 and then this is 0.8. Matlab this is 0.5 and this is 0.3. This is systole, this diastole. During the systole, the normal blood pressure we have measured, that is 120. Whereas during the diastole, the blood pressure 80. वेरी सिंपल, जब सिस्टोल होता है 0.3 सेकेंड्स का 120 mmHg ब्लड प्रेशर रहता है, जब डायस्टोल होता है तब 80 mmHg ब्लड रहता है. Now what is happening at that time? Like to understand the mean arterial pressure, what we are distinguishing mean arterial pressure. To understand that mean arterial pressure, let me explain that. Now what is happening? Understand. Systole 120, diastole 80 maintain. Consider this is approximately 0.9. If it is 0.8, consider this is 0.9. So 0.3 one third, 0.6 two third, 0.9 3. So one third, one third, one third. Can we divide this thing into one third, one third, one third? Right? 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. Let's assume 0.9 just for a calculation. Okay. So 0.3, 0.3, 0.3. So this is the one third of the whole cardiac cycle. This is the one third of the total cardiac cycle. Okay. So now what is happening here? If I draw one barrier, if I draw one barrier equal to this 80, it means, can we say that this is 80 mmHg? Throughout the whole cardiac cycle, the 80 mmHg blood will be maintained. Correct. So remaining how much? 40. So 40 and 80, 20. So this is the whole cardiac cycle. Throughout the cardiac cycle, 0.0 say 0.8 tak it will maintain 80. So this 40 divided, if you want to take mean, average. So guys, if you understand the average, it should be more than 80 and less than 20. Correct. Mathematics, we know that much. Want to take a mean, it will not be beyond 120, it will not be less than 80, it will be between them. So less than 120 and more than 80. So this 40 we have to divide it into one third, one third, one third. Matlab three part we have to divide it this 40 mmHg blood pressure to get the mean. So this 40, if I divide it by 3, straight away I get what? 13 3s are 39. So approximately I have taken. So mean arterial pressure. Okay. So यहाँ पे 13, 13, 13. So mean pressure has been taken out. So the original pressure 80 plus 13, 93 mmHg. So this resembles what? Mean arterial pressure. This resembles what? Mean arterial pressure. So one thing that you need to understand, if you take the mean arterial pressure, it is very difficult. See, cardiologist, cardiac surgeon, they take it, physician, they do it quite nicely because they have in the practice sessions. They do every day in life. Okay. But for us, for physiotherapy, to take it out, first you need to understand the concept, basic concept, how to take that. we need to divide into the three parts, 0.3, 0.3, 0.3 on an average side. So here 120 systolic, here 80 diastolic. Average throughout the cycle 80 ज्यादा कितना रहेगा 80 प्लस 40 जो ऊपर था, करेक्ट। तो अभी क्या हो गया, तो डिवाइड कर दिया, we have divided and then that 40 divided into one third, one third, one third. So three times we divided that 40 and then we came to know 80 plus 13, 80 plus 13 throughout mean, 80 plus 13, 80 plus 13 throughout mean. So that means 80 plus 13, 93 is the mean arterial pressure that throughout the whole mean arterial, only arterial. I am not talking about the whole system, not capillary, not venous. Only the mean arterial pressure is. This is how we calculate. Why it is very important to understand the hypertension. Later on, I'll explain you why it is so important. If the mean arterial pressure is getting increased, it is vulnerable to cause the ischemic heart disease. Okay, so I hope this concept is clear for all. Okay. Now there is a one more concept that I would like to explain over here. There is a one more concept that I would like to explain over here. Okay, that concept now very simple that the one should understand. Blood pressure. Okay, this is blood pressure. Now we all know depend on cardiac output, total peripheral resistance. Blood pressure, systolic means it. So this resemble what? This resemble this systolic blood pressure. This is diastolic blood pressure. So cardiac output, systolic blood pressure, total peripheral resistance, diastolic blood pressure. Now see, if you consider the systolic blood pressure where the hypertension comes into picture, what is that? This cardiac output is depend on stroke volume and heart rate. Cardiac output, first year physiology, basic thing. Cardiac output is equal to stroke volume into heart rate. The amount of blood which is pumped out in the left ventricle from the left ventricle during each beat, during each stroke, that is the stroke volume, and the per minute heart rate. So total, if you calculate, you will come to know the cardiac output. Basic, right? Next, what is happening? This stroke volume is depend on three things. This stroke volume depend on the three things. Okay, first one is the preload. First one is the preload. I'll explain what is preload. Okay, first one is the preload. Second one is the contractility of the myocardium itself. Contractility of the myocardium itself. And third one is the afterload. The third one is the afterload. Now let me explain. Preload means the amount of blood which is there in the left ventricle before the myocardial contraction. So myocardial contraction करने से पहले उसको जो लोड मिल रहा है, contraction से पहले का लोड, preload. So before the contraction, the pressure occurs over the myocardium is called as an preload. इसको end diastolic volume भी बोलते हैं because diastole ventricle का खत्म हुआ, blood सारा fill हो गया. Blood got filled at the end of the diastole. अब mitral valve get closed, aortic valve is also closed क्योंकि अभी contraction myocardium चालू नहीं किया है. So the mitral valve is also closed at the same time. Aortic valve is also get closed. So what is happening at that time? Isolatedly, the diastole, the left ventricle chambers shows the volume of blood inside is act as a end diastolic volume, and diastole, the amount of volume which is remaining inside the lever, becomes called as an end diastolic volume. So that is what is a preload, because before contraction the load has occurred. Second thing is the contractility. If the contractility is good enough, will forcefully pump and the cardiac output will be go. If the contractility is not good, like ischemic heart disease, cardiomyopathy, hypertrophy, heart failure, okay, or ischemic changes, okay, which is reversible. But if it is irreversible, like MI, myocardial infarction, the contractility will be major impact over the stroke volume. If the contractility is good, stroke volume is good. If the contractility is less, the stroke volume is not that good. Basic. Okay, which again resembles the cardiac output and the blood pressure and the hypertension. See, the graph is, I will take it with the hypertension. Fraction of minute. Wait. So now the afterload. The afterload we just said that preload मतलब पहले contraction. Afterload मतलब contraction होने के बाद जो load मिलता है तो. Can you guess anyone which one is the afterload? The few of the student might be knowing that few days that I have covered this theory. The afterload means that total tensile rest. This afterload is nothing but just a total peripheral resistance. That total peripheral resistance, that small arteries has that narrow diameter with the larger smooth muscles. So that total peripheral resistance acts as an afterload over the heart. Preload was already inside the ventricle before contraction. After the contraction, the load which occurs over the heart, that is called as an afterload. That was what was that? Total peripheral resistance was an afterload. Okay, so the afterload, if the afterload is more, if the afterload is more, okay, what happens to the stroke volume? If afterload is more, what happens to the stroke volume? Afterload is more, at that time the blood will not go away further in the venous return, so the venous return will not be there, so cardiac output will be less. Okay, if the afterload is vasoconstrictor is not the vasodilator is there, so good amount of flow will be there. Okay, so vasoconstriction, diastolic blood pressure will increase if the vasoconstriction is there. If vasodilatation occurs, afterload is getting decreased, the diastolic blood pressure will get decreased. So the afterload is majorly concerned with the diastolic blood pressure, and the preload is mainly considered with the systolic blood pressure. So here I will just mention over here, this preload is mainly resemble what? Systolic blood pressure. Okay, cardiac output. And this afterload means what? Diastolic blood pressure. Total peripheral resistance. So if anything changes occur in afterload or total peripheral resistance, we need to understand the diastolic pressure. And if anything goes wrong with the preload or end diastolic volume, which is going to occur for the stroke volume and the cardiac output, we need to understand the problem with the systolic blood pressure. Listen, we have developed one of the good concepts. If doctor measure the blood pressure and the diastole is more, doctor will think about not cardiac output, it will think about to reduce the constriction which is there in the arteries. Right. Now, if the systolic blood pressure is more, doctor will not bother much about the afterload. What he will think, he will reduce the cardiac contractility. It will suppress the sympathetic tone which is coming all the way from the nervous system, जो ऐसे नर्व को excite कर रहा है, ठीक है? तो जो ventricle filling हो रही है, वो reduce करेगा, है ना? तो उस टाइम क्या करेगा? Venoconstriction कर देगा. So when the venous constriction occurs, when the venous get constricted, the blood from the periphery it will not reach back to the heart. The moment it will not reach back to the heart, what happens? Venous return will be less. If the venous return will be less, what is happening? What is happening during the venous return? Cardiac output will be low because stroke volume will be low, ejection fraction will be low, the cardiac output will be low, and hence the once the cardiac output will be low, the systolic blood pressure will come down. So, are you getting how the hypertension, the blood pressure is getting regulated by these two concepts? Very important to understand. Now, again, again. Now this. Now लोड मतलब वेनस रिटर्न मतलब ब्लड वापस आना चाहिए, पेरिफेरल कूलिंग से वापस आना चाहिए, तो ठीक है, तो उसके लिए क्या होना चाहिए? मेनली इट डिपेंड्स ऑन व्हाट? It depends on the venous return. The preload depends on what? The venous return. Okay. Because if the venous return is good, preload will be good and diastolic volume. If the venous return is good, so left atrium will have a good blood supply. So left ventricle will be having a good supply. So good preload. Okay, and diastolic will be good. Right. So venous return is one of the factor which maintain the preload. So the first. Now let me tell you, venous return is depending upon what? Venous return किस पे डिपेंड करता है? हमने तो बोल दिया प्रीलोड डिपेंड करता है वेनस रिटर्न पे। अब वेनस रिटर्न पे किसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है? There are very important things that I'll tell you. Venous return, okay, that depends on number one. Venous return that depends on what? Number one, vasomotor tone. If the vasomotor is restricted, venous return will not be back. अगर वासो कंस्ट्रिक्शन हो गया तो venous return जाएगा नहीं हार्ट में, it will not back to the right side of the heart. Okay, and if the